Ladies and gentlemen, we are live for the first time in, I don't know, what is it, a year? No, seriously, maybe a week, I think, possibly. Now, I do want to address a few issues today, and I hope a lot of our old faithful fans come back. You know who you are, and I miss you. So, yeah. I thought I would troll a little bit tonight, and they took me a little bit too seriously, or at least praise kind of set it up like that. But uh, it's really interesting. Smoky Saint, God rest his soul. I wish Will would not have killed him, but he has helped us out with the fact that we can live in honor of him by calling out stupidity and hypocrisy. Because what happens, Dr. Geisler called it the Roadrunner Effect. What happens is that atheists very much find themselves standing on thin air because by their very methods, they fail to uphold to those methods. I can mention positivism that failed because someone pointed out that it doesn't pass its own test for truth. When we deal with the hypocrisy of people and Christians, I mostly find that Christians are unaware of the fact that what is good for the goose is not good for the gander. Now, point number one, also known as legalism, also known as speaking out of your mouth hole, and all of the other things that I have mentioned. Let's see here. Dr. Folk says, and stupidity and hypocrisy have been called out. Oh my, hasn't it? It has definitely been called out. And I'm doing my best to be a good sport and to be a loving, doting Christian father in the way I point this stuff out. Hey, listen, people, I'm going to be 51 this summer. I've already stepped over the hill and I'm stumbling down, about ready to hit my head on a rock at the bottom. I've got maybe 6 months to 12 months of good years left. And then I'm a Joe Biden. I'm just walking around talking like our president, talking like Nakasuchi, talking like praise, talking like the birdies, cheap, cheap, finch, finch, sparrow, sparrow, little bit of olive oil added to it, whatever it may be. The nonsense is palatable. I can't hardly stand it anymore, ladies and gentlemen. I really can't hardly stand it. Uh, a mentor I only got to meet once, but definitely a mentor since 90 or 91, can't quite remember. Dr. R.C. Sproul, he says, "What is wrong with you people?" Numerous times. And Dr. Sproul was a great man, very sarcastic. I loved him, but still a little gentle. And a lot of my mentors, they've been gentle men, most definitely. But let me tell you, folks, I'm an ex 80s rocker wannabe. I am a metalhead down to the heart. I'm a guitar player in a drummer's body. I'm a little off. I don't fit the norm. I tried to fit the norm and it put me into a depression that lasted 20 years. I've got to be myself. And you just got to call out the hypocrisy, the stupidity, the problems in the Christian church. And to be honest with everybody, everybody knows I can get a little terse. I've got ADHD, people. I live a life of frustration. I, I broke a $50 pin to operate my iPhone this weekend. I lost a Mickey Mouse Obi-Wan Kenobi pin. And I thought, hey, I'm doing pretty good. I'm off of opiates and pharmaceuticals. I'm on day 10. Hey, my ADHD is not that bad right now. At least I don't feel it's that bad. Of course, my daughter pointed out that I haven't had my Ritalin in about 3 weeks. Another story. But I felt like, man, I could do it, only to lose and break and stumble and get lost numerous times. Listen, it's not fun being me. It stinks. But God's made me a unique way, and I've got to stick to it. And He's just made me in a way that stupid frustrates me. Maybe because I frustrate myself so much, and I don't have any longer a filter after 50 years of life to deal with stupid. My own stupid. Trust me, I wish I could get from A to C, let alone D and F and E and to Z. If it weren't for my wife, I would be a bumbling idiot, probably living on the gutter, self-medicating. And I'm kidding you not. I'm just who I am. I've got my issues, I've got my problems, but I tell you what, there's one characteristic about me that is tenacious, infatigable, infatigable, however you want to pronounce it. I am stubbornly committed to truth. And hypocrisy drives me crazy. And these Norm Geisler Roadrunner tactics, where you point out the fact that atheists are dealing outside of reason and rationality, and you turn around and people in the Christian church do the same. Tonight, Praise was having a stream about people splitting over non-essentials. All to my surprise, because I've been texting Praise one-on-one, because I do have a pastor's heart and I do care for all of you people except a handful of turds that are out there. I'm getting upset. Garth, you're Ritalin. Just dealing with all of this, the frustration. I'm tired of the hypocrisy. I'm tired of people pointing out what is an inconsistency, maybe in someone's life, but they themselves have their own inconsistency, I should say. I thought I was on good terms with Praise I Am and everybody else, but apparently I didn't bow to the lady's desires. And I go over there and I, say hi, and I don't see it. I say, hey guys, just poking, and I'm blocked. I find it very interesting. The more I point out truth and facts and hold people to Christian ethics, the more I am ridiculed, lambasted, and gossiped and slandered about. It's really disgusting me that people, number one, take YouTube as the real world. And number two, you guys are so stupid. I really don't get it. I just don't get it. Let me settle down a little bit. I was doing okay, you know, feeling good, had a great time with the family. And I just see the hypocrisy of people I truly care about. I mean, I really care about all you turds. Everybody blasts me for standing with Smokey Saint, and you guys do twice the evil that Smokey's ever done. Bruce comes around lambasting Smokey and has a history on YouTube of doing the very same thing. What is wrong with you people? You don't have the moral high ground, even though I don't have half the problems you all have. Except I do have good looks and superior musical talent and superior intellect. But besides all of that, I see you all as equals. It's so easy to get everybody's goat. It's so easy in the Christian world to start, and Tammy tells me I'm using the word wrong, memeing. Whatever you call it, I love to make fun of you. Call it argumentum ad absurdum. I love to point out the inconsistencies, the stupidity, just the lack of critical thinking skills pointed out once again by R.C. Sproul many years ago. He says we're living in the most unintellectual time in the history of the Christian church. We look back on the Middle Ages and think, oh, those guys are stupid. We have presentism. We have this idea that we are superior. We're moderns. We look back. Folks, the Christian church, by and large, the average Christian is a retard compared to the average Christian of 100 years ago. Now, the average pastor today, and I include myself in this, I am ashamed of myself with the kind of learnedness that Spurgeon had, that all of the reformers had, even men that were self-studied like Louis Sperry Chafer and Schofield. Regardless if you agree with their theology or not, those men were literally studied. These Schofield passed the bar just by self-study. Abraham Lincoln passed the bar by self-study. You see, I respect education in the sense of somebody's done their homework. I could care less of what is hanging on your wall, if you're called doctor or if you're called nurse. Matter of fact, I have the kids and children's Bible club and science club call me Nurse Rhodes. I don't want those kids calling me doctor as if I can speak with authority into their lives. All I can do is tell them what the Lord has said. And yet we find a bunch of ding-dongs morally pontificating, walking around as if their poop doesn't stink, calling out other Christians, and yet their homes are riddled with dead men's bones. It's disgusting to me. I tried to write all of you off, but the Lord won't let me do it. I am going more towards my calling, which is apologetics to the atheists. I actually trust them more. The people in the atheistic world are by and large better people than Christians I've met. It's sad. Very sad. I think I'm going to get off my soapbox and I'm going to take a deep breath. But I have ranted now for a while. Does anybody want to come in and speak their piece? I think I have the link pinned there. I'm looking at the comments here. It's really funny. Oh my goodness. I just don't get it. I mean, I I listen to people and I even took my harshest critics' words and I thought, okay, am I, by standing with the person, Smokey Saint, am I really defending his methods? Have I really stood firm? Do people really know where I stand? But here's the problem. The people that are poking at me are the worst kind of Christians. You guys don't even go to the church. My goodness, I wish I could say so much more. The personal things I know about some of you people. Man, you guys are so quick to judge, and you don't realize the problems you have in your own life, your own self righteousness. Let's just start with that. It is truly amazing the state of the Christian church today. Now, I said a long time ago, I don't have a lot of respect for YouTube Christianity, and I was going to be playing a part, posture Kenny, and I have trolled the crap out of you Christians since October. And boy, have I raised a hornet's nest. And all it's shown me is that nobody lives by the very same principles they want to put on somebody else. Jace. Oh, I won't tell you my real name and my information. Oh, but somebody else should. Why? Oh, because they're smarter than me and have a bigger program. Oh, okay. That's our measure of truth. You guys are stupid. I mean, if I have to go off in the woods because I've made no friends and everybody's the enemy, at least I can stand sure and know in my heart of hearts that Jesus would not put up with the nonsense that is seen on the YouTubes and most of American Christianity. Let's face it, most American Christians are hypocrites, and atheists have great points. A lot of atheists have been hurt by you Christians. And you think it's justified? Oh, they're reprobates, they're going to hell, they're homosexuals, they're evolutionists. When have we taken the place of God in judging people's hearts and their minds? I can't tell you the pain inflicted on me by Christians because I don't want to be a freaking victim. Man, Christians have destroyed my life and they're still doing it. The very thing I took a little bit of pride in, my relationship with reasons to believe. Oh, I got all kinds of mess going on. Nobody knows what to believe because of a maltheist Brett Keane, who may have taken me in moments of weakness. Once again, I'm not apologizing for calling any of these people out. Maybe I was a little rough, but Jesus and I will deal with that. Not me and everybody else. I mean, I'm just pissed at this point. The hypocrisy, the dumbness. I've tried to be a nice guy. I try to be funny. I try to be a fatherly figure. It's really so close. I'm really so close to shaking the dust off of my feet and giving Christians the middle finger in the YouTube world. Truly, I'm there. But if it weren't for a handful of people, that's what I would do. I'm disgusted by the uninformed nature of all the mouth holes that are out there spewing forth their legalism. And what's good for the goose is not good for the gander. An old saying from the Appalachian Mountains. Hey, I'm going to judge you by different standards by which I judge myself. I better stop here before you all make a preacher cuss. I'm going to mute my mic and go get something to drink. All right, y'all, I'm back. Uh, I'm not sure I know who Ricky Caldwell is, but be more than happy to have you come in and share a little bit about his views. But as I was thinking about tonight, I thought I would let the Apostle Paul do a little of divine rebuke as well. And he says in Romans chapter 2, therefore you have no excuse, justification, every one of you who judges and condemns others. For in passing judgment on other persons, you condemn yourself, because you who judge are habitually practicing the very same things which you denounce. And we know that the judgment of God falls justly and in accordance with truth on those who practice such things. Do you think this, O man, when you judge and condemn those who practice such things, and yet you do the same yourself, that you will escape God's judgment and exclude his verdict? Or do you have no regard for the wealth of the kindness and tolerance and patience? Are you unaware or ignorant that God's kindness leads you to repentance? But because of your callousness, stubbornness, and unrepentant heart, you are storing up wrath for yourselves on the day of wrath when God's righteous judgment will be revealed. I think hypocrisy is taken pretty serious by the Lord, since it tends to be, well, actually, like what Dr. Falk had mentioned earlier today, it seems to profane that which is righteous. You claim to be in accordance with the teachings of Christ and to walk in a manner that Christ walked, and yet by your actions and practices, you deny him. We're told in First John, we have to walk in the same manner that Jesus walked, walking in truth, walking in integrity, walking in righteousness, walking in mercy. We have no place as sinners ourselves unless we're with the elders of the church and we, with much fear and trembling, approach another Christian who is clearly in error. Oops, sorry, kicked my guitar. We have to approach Christians that are truly in error, truly on a path that would lead to death, not some subjective means by which we culturally measure other Christians. I can't stand that kind of hypocrisy. Everybody wants to use different things that other people have said for their own agenda in order to bring others down. Many years ago, I learned, Kenny, why do you think you have to put somebody else down in order to feel better about yourself? And I don't remember when I actually learned it, but I grew up. It was like, you know what? I think if I affirm other people and lift them up and I only point out their good points, I think I'm feeding. My father-in-law used to always say, feed those characteristics in your wife that you want to grow. Starve those you don't want to grow. I won't expound on that. Anyway, there's a lot of funny stories. I've gotten in trouble by quoting my father-in-law before, but he wasn't the greatest husband either, and my dad was even worse. I'm sorry, I tickled myself. Oh man, and totally forgot where I was going. I hate this ADHD. Anywho, I think I was talking about hypocrisy. I think. I think it was hypocrisy. It's been a long day. Spent most of the day in the car, but I'm a professional now at sitting in the car and let somebody else who's grumpy drive. Oh, did I say that? Nobody tell Tammy. Oh my goodness. Numerous times Smokey literally cussed me out. I kid you not. He's a little high strung. as a person. And man, yeah, I'm a mess. Sure. Messes follow me around. I don't notice stuff. And he got so frustrated, cussed me out one time, and then he just kind of gives up and he just starts talking about how Tammy's a saint and how Tammy has to deal with somebody like me, and she's just got to be this beautiful saint. And I was telling Tammy that, and she happened to agree. Been a long day. Deal with my neurotic subject changes, but I just see things a little bit a little bit differently than a lot of other people. And I have a tendency to see things and pull them apart and notice the inconsistencies, the lack of unity and diversity, things of that nature. And now I'm just rambling and rambling and rambling. So anyway, if we don't have anybody who wants to come in, I'll shut everything down tonight, or at least let you all kind of chat back and forth in live chat, but I don't see too much going on. So I think my rant is over. Let's see here. Let's start from Smokey cussed everyone else at me. Oh, that's hilarious. Yes, yes. Oh my goodness, that is so funny. But you know what, man? I love him. I don't care that he's rough around the edges. So am I. I just pointed out that my wife has to deal with my stupidity. Hey, if I have to deal with Tammy's grumpiness or Smokey's grumpiness from time to time, it was only, every, about once a week. Man, I can handle that. And then, people start realizing that, hey, I'm not doing stuff out of rebellion. It's just, hey, help me out, man. At a certain point, the garbage is so overwhelming to me, I won't even see it. It's like my brain turns it off because I don't know how to get from A to B. It's like, okay, put this in this bag, but then, okay, but I don't really want to throw this one away. So, okay, maybe I should keep this. I know it's an empty bottle, but I might need it for water later. My grandma was a pack rat. You can just say, I mean, I don't mean it for wrong, but it drives people around me crazy. Uh, if I can hope that they don't condemn me for me being me, I certainly can't condemn people for them being them. I haven't walked in their shoes. I don't know their hurts. I don't know what they've gone through, except for the fact that I identify with just the brokenness of spirit and brokenness of heart because I've gone through life devastated and with a broken heart because of being fundamentally misunderstood. But it's not about me. Oh, yeah, it is. I'm sorry. So tonight, appreciate everybody tuning in, and we will talk to you all soon. Smokey's doing good. Yep. He's working hard, lost a lot of money. His whole family lost a lot of money in the Biden administration here, and that's kind of the last I've talked with Smokey, kind of a praying for things in this situation. So if anybody just wants to, if anybody loves Smokey, just pray God has mercy on the situation and all that entails. And that's the best thing we could really do for one another. Pray for those, even if you don't like him, pray for him. And maybe God will soften your heart. And maybe God will soften my heart towards some of you guys because I think some of you guys are just as dumb as a rock. And God's going to have to soften my heart to help me see past that. All right. Good night, y'all. Have a good evening. God bless.